What up, home fries, home slices, what have you? So, hello, if you're new, welcome. I'm Emily, the Fine Art Medium. And if you've been here before, how's it going? How you doing? I hope you're staying well. Hope you're staying safe. So, today's video, I'm going to be answering this question. What is the difference between a demonic entity versus negative or bad energy? So, this question is kind of complicated in the sense that negative energy can come from multiple sources. So, are we talking like negative residual energy? Are we talking about negative energy from an earthbound spirit? Or are we just saying as a whole? But I can tell you what a demonic entity is. But usually it is an evil, malevolent spirit. And though I don't like to go into religion, the Catholics pointed it out best. Now don't get confused with them creating it because they did not create the concept. It is something that they just pointed out because demonic entities have existed way past religion, way past religion was even created. So, yes. But they do point out great examples of demonic entities. So, like succubi, succubus, incubus. Yes, those are demons. And usually they serve a higher or more evil malevolent entity. And if you want a better explanation, I recommend Wikipedia, or you can go to my other video where I spoke about like definitions of demons and stuff. But yeah, I'll put that somewhere. But anyway, so now let's talk about the difference in feeling. Like, what does the energy of a demonic entity feel like versus regular bad energy or negative energy, whether it's residual or from a negative earthbound spirit or just a non-human spirit that gives off negative energy. So because I've dealt with some demonic entities, I did notice a slight difference when dealing and trying to decipher what is what, but it can get very confusing if you can't like astral project and see what's going on, because sometimes it relies, like you have to rely on more than just your feeling, because sometimes demonic entities like to play games and trick you into thinking the haunting isn't as severe as it actually is. And this has happened to me before. So let's get into the whole demon thing, right? So when helping the very few clients that I've had, I've had not that many with demonic entities, I should say. I've dealt more with them myself and being attacked on the astral realm. But so when I first had my haunting, right, I went to that stupid tour, right, in I don't even remember, somewhere in PA. The feeling I would get at nighttime, and it's not necessarily specific to nighttime, but in this instance, for my experience, it was always nighttime because of the dark. And so I was somebody, and I consider myself somebody who was never really ever afraid of the dark. I like the dark. I do my best work in the dark. Don't ask me why, that's just how it is. I used to get in trouble for doing homework and stuff in the dark. I don't know. The light, hurts my eyes, migraines, whatever. So I never really liked, doing stuff in the daytime. I was always very nocturnal. So then all of a sudden having a fear of the dark, that's a little sus. And I knew myself pretty well to know, yeah, this ain't me. Like, this ain't typical for me. Like, I like the dark. Why am I terrified? And not just like a simple, like, oh, I'm a little scared or uncomfortable. No, this was a holy shit, like, I don't want to be here. Like, I am terrified. Like, I am so scared that I gotta leave all my lights on. So that's what I did. So, being terrified, not just like uncomfortable, but like, I mean, it depends on the person too. But I would say most of the time, it's like a very like strong feeling of you don't want to be alone in the dark, and it's scary. That feeling, and then feeling like you have to sleep with the lights on, or also being afraid to go to sleep because if you go to sleep, you feel like something bad's gonna happen. Yeah, that's also another indicator of like the energy of like the feeling you get. I'm trying to think of other things. What else? Oh, another example. And this I noticed, I would say a month or two ago, whenever I did that collab with Chastity, right? So with her demonic entity that she had, this was new for me and feeling that type of energy because that energy of that demonic entity was so strong. It was so strong that it left me like shaky. It was weird. It was like being freezing cold, right? And like having a pit in your stomach, but like it's not cold. It was weird. It's like an anxiety thing. So if you're someone who has panic attacks and like really bad anxiety, that's what it felt like. And I was just like, holy crap, like why do I feel like I can't get warm? Like this is weird. That is another sign that you could be dealing with like a demonic I almost said entertainment. No, with a demonic entity. So that's like the feeling and energy anyway. Another thing I noticed energy wise is that during even, that collab with her, I was noticing cold spots in weird fucking places. And I would have the heat blasting and I'd be like, why is it cold there? And that has to do with them sucking all the energy out and leaving like that void there. And it just makes it uncomfortable. So I would say the very important thing, if you take away anything from this video, is watch or analyze how your body responds to the environment around you or like your house or whatever, right? If you suspect, right, that there could be a demonic entity or negative earthbound something, whatever, analyze your body and what it does, okay? So your body is very instinctual, and so if something is uncomfortable and your body don't like it, its natural defense is either fight or flight. And if you can't see it, you're gonna fly. That instinct is to flight, and you're not gonna want to be around that spot. Now, you can also pay attention to the environment around you in terms of who you're around specifically. And I say this because sometimes, and now here's where it can get tricky. When you can have a demonic entity and negative earthbound spirit, right? And they do have the ability, some of the earthbound spirits have the ability to manipulate people to where they can become combative at each other. Demons can do this too. So that's why it can be very difficult if you just go based off of energy alone. Because, like I said before, demons can be playing some games. And so it'll be hard at, a lot of times to decipher just based on energy alone. You need other key factors when going through your little list there. Because there are multiple things that need to be going on to be considered a demonic entity, because I feel like most times it's not, and it's just either a negative non-human or earthbound or just negative residual. So it's always important to take that into account. And now, if you're someone who has been awakened, right, your third eye is open and you can astral project, then it might be easier for you to obviously take note of the energies around you, right, and the little clues that are being left, and then using what you see too. For me, when I astral project, I can see what the entity is. Now, don't get me wrong, it can take me a long ass time because I am still new. I'm not super experienced. So, a lot of times they will play games with me, and by they I mean like the demonic entities. So, my past client that I had, there was a lot of crap going on. There were multiple demons, and so it was really tricky to decipher what the hell was going on because they're playing games with me and they're helping each other like get away with whatever they're trying to do. But I was able to figure it out after like I don't even know how many weeks of meditation, because meditation and astral projecting, sometimes they can even hide what they look like, or they just dip and you can't find them. So that's why it's also important to not to go. Bleh, wow, sorry, stroke there. That's why it's important to not just go based off of feeling, because they're already tricky mofos, okay? So you need to add other things in addition to just the energies around you. Now, don't get me wrong. If you see your stove shatter, or in my case, it's technically my oven, that's a red flag, because a typical negative energy from whatever source, like whether it's earthbound, if it's non-demonic, I should say, a non-demonic entity typically doesn't have that power to just shatter your oven glass. Okay, that takes the skill and power of a seasoned and very strong demonic, technically devil entity. And yeah, energy, just power in of itself, like the power of the energy that is being used too, is also important. So when I saw, I think it was my belt in my old house, we have little door hooks, right, to put our robes and stuff on. Well, that thing lifted off the hook because the hook was like this, right? So sorry about I don't know how to do it anyway, but it had to lift up off because it wasn't just it wasn't just like this and on the edge. This thing was in through the hook, so it had to be lifted up and then dropped. So that's sus and a red flag when it comes to, trying to figure out if it's demonic or not. I'm lucky enough to only have had to deal with, a shattered oven glass, because that shit was scary. And even when it happened, because I was helping a client, as it happened, and it happened in front of me, kind of. I mean, I just had like the bar thing in front of me, so it wasn't like a direct line of sight, but like over the counter, like if I would have stood up, I would have seen it happen. But for something to just go bam and then boom, shatter, that takes a lot of energy, and that's not something a typical like earthbound spirit would have or residual energy would have. It's very like specific, I feel like. And I feel like the strength of it is stronger if it was, or were, sorry, grammar, if it were a demonic entity. So I hope that kind of helps in clarifying and answers your question. But if you have any more questions, please leave them down below. Hopefully I can answer them. And also, For those who ask questions in the comment section, if I cannot answer your question, I'm sorry, but I will tell you whether or not I have that experience or not. And sometimes it takes further research to come up with an answer. So I do write everything you ask down for future videos, but and hopefully I can answer them in videos soon. I'm just, like I said, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything, and I pretty much go based off of what I've experienced personally. So hopefully that, helps ya. And I hope you guys have a super special, awesome day, night, whatever, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay Rona free. But yeah, peace.